So the World Cup, it is still going on, but international club competitions is currently running. Obviously, the qualifiers for both the Champions League and the Europa League, and Conference League are all happening now. I did a little preview in my first video. A little preview. I made some predictions and yada yada yada. I didn't really go in detail, but today I'll kind of go a bit more in detail. I'll try and make this as detailed but quick and precise as possible. So, with the Champions League, obviously Q1 has been completed. Now, for me, the shocks. First shock is probably Drita getting knocked out. I didn't knew. I don't know. Lithuania side, Kaunas Žalgiris. Okay, now I didn't check the game. They were going through up until uh Kaunas Žalgiris scored 2 goals in the they scored on the 94th minute penalty to win it, to win the game and to go through. Impressive. I mean, I don't know if it was impressive or not, but any other shocks? Sabah. Obviously, I should have probably known that they got ahead of Karabakh in the Azerbaijan league, so they must have been good if they're winning the league in a league that has Karabakh. But I didn't think it would be like this, that big of a difference. Any other shocks? Maybe Ignatia, just because it's 6-1. 6-1 is crazy. Petrokov, Moldovan side, obviously, it's a similar thing with Sabah, but they've been knocked out, Petrokov. Obviously, Petrokov are in the same league as Sheriff Tiraspol. So, they must be decent to, be finishing ahead of Sheriff Tiraspol, but they actually had a red card on the first leg, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, they did, but it was Ignatia. Albanian side. Any other shocks? Nope, not really there. Maybe Levski Sofia. I guess, again, it's a Bulgarian side. They finish ahead of Ludogorets. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but 4-0s, yeah. Other than that, I think everything else is probably kind of what I anticipated. So now, I'm not going to go into detail of those first qualifying rounds, but the second qualifying round, Samgazi Hearts. This one's interesting because you got two, technically the second best teams from both Austria and Scotland. Hearts lost out on the league on the last day. Sturmgrass, I actually don't know what head to head they first Japanese side Sanfrecce Hiroshima. How did they go last year? They okay, it shows that they finished first, but that was in the league season. I can't really. Did they? They didn't. I don't think they won the Austrian league, but they finished first in the regular year, so they did something right. They've done something right to finish ahead of Salzburg in the regular season. That's an interesting. Now, KI Klagsvik v Kaunas Žalgiris. Now, what I will say is, right, they are both Northern Europe. One's in Lithuania, one's in Faroe Islands. Obviously, Faroe Islands are more northern. But my takeaway on this is, it'll be a very difficult away trip for Žalgiris. But I don't think it'll be too if it was a Western team, if it was Lincoln Red Imps, I think maybe a trip to Faroe Islands would be a struggle. But same goes the other way. That's an interesting one because one of these teams will be making it to the first. Honestly, one of these teams go through. They then have 2 more rounds to then make it into the league phase. I don't really know. I would back Klaksvik or KI, but this Kaunas Žalgiris, they impressed me to beat Drita. Fenerbahce v Gornik Zabzab or Gornik Zabzab. I can't pronounce their name. I'm just gonna call them Gornik. Now this is the other fixture in the league path, league qualifying round. Sturm, Graz, and Hearts are the first fixture. You probably expect Fenerbahce to go through. Their squad is stacked, but Gornik, they finished second in the Polish league. You never know. Maybe they could cause an upset. Other ties, Sabah from Azerbaijan v KUPS. That is I think that's the furthest trip that a team has to make in this round. Going to Azerbaijan from Finland. And I'll back KUPS. LAN v Red Star Belgrade, obviously from okay, that's a pretty far trip as well, Northern Ireland to Belgrade. Yeah, LAN, you've been unlucky to get Krvezna Zvezda. Ignacy Celia. I'll back Celia. They have made it to a European quarterfinals, so I'd back them. And I think they could make it to the league phase. Kairat v Omonia. This one's a tricky one. You got champions of Cyprus versus champions of Kazakhstan. Obviously, Kairat won the league phase last year. But Omonia, they've been in league phases and group stages for the last couple of seasons in Europe, I'm pretty sure. So that's a tough one to predict. Iberia v Slovan Bratislava. Obviously, Slovan Bratislava's new coach is Yaya Toure, so that's gonna be interesting. His first Champions League match will be up against Georgian side Iberia. That's a tough one to say because Slovan, they could. You would back Slovan, but you never know. Levski Sofia versus Universitate Craiova. Romanian champions of Romania versus champions of Bulgaria. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have to back champions of Bulgaria. Just because if you're finishing first, if you're winning the league that has Ludogorets, you've done something right. Vikingur, Icelandic side, champions of Iceland versus the champions of Israel, Hatbel Beersheva. Obviously, they're going to be in a neutral stadium, so I'm not going to lie, I'm backing Vikingur Reykjavik. This one's interesting. Ararat Armenia. Okay, this is a pretty far trip as well. Champions of Republic of Ireland versus champions of Armenia. Honestly, I'd back Shamrock Rovers, but you never know. I don't know. You never know. Lincoln Redimps versus Mjällby, so champions of Sweden versus champions of Gibraltar. I would back Lincoln Redimps, but Swedish side Mjällby, they obviously, if they've won the league, they finished above like Malmo. So, and there's probably like another good team, Gothenburg or Hammarby, and then two other champions of Switzerland. Thun finished ahead of Young Boys and Basel versus the champions of Croatia. But I think Dinamo in the last like 2 or 3 seasons, Hajduk Split and Rijeka have like competed with them, so they've had to actually earn that title. So yeah, but obviously Thun, impressive title win last year. I mean, it would be cool to see if Thun make it to the league phase. And then champions of Denmark, AGF, yes. Not Copenhagen, not Brøndby, not Midtjylland. And then champions of Poland, which is not Legia Warsaw, but Lech Poznan. Seeing some new champions. Like, no Ludogorets, no, like, a Copenhagen or a Midtjylland. Like, it's crazy to see. Industar, I'd probably, again, tough. Maybe Lech Poznan. Yeah, that's my preview on the Champions League. Europa League, obviously, there's not as many fixtures at this early round for now. But in the first one, you had Hajduk. I mean, any shocks here? Expected. Hajduk Split beating Zelina. Yeah, Karabag versus Icelandic side Vestri. CSK Sofia v Derry City. This one ended on a penalty shootout, no? Did it? Oh, no, it didn't. Oh, this one did. I didn't realize. I didn't think this would be as close as it was. Like, I know Dynamo Kiev aren't the champions of Ukraine. Wait, yeah? Never mind. But yeah, it's a Romanian side. It's got to be because it's got Cluj in the name. Wait, did Dynamo who won the Ukraine? I feel like I'm in it. Okay, Shakhtar did win it. Wait, what? Oh, Dynamo Kiev won the cup. Okay, for some reason I thought, yeah, I'm in it. Shakhtar was in the Conference League last season. That's why I keep thinking Shakhtar's in it. Yeah. Literally no shocks except for probably like, I did low-key think Alumni would put up a better fight. I mean, they did put up a fight, 1-0. Now, in the next round, there's some interesting fixtures. You got St. Gallen versus Benfica. Benfica, early round, they finished third, so they have to play in... No, they finished third, but also that second-tier team from Portugal won the cup against Sporting, so Benfica have now been placed here. Hajduk Split v Paphos. Obviously, Paphos, you may know them from last year's Champions League phase, so it's not going to be an easy fixture. Tromso versus Hradec Kralov. If you want to know some context, this was meant to be Victoria Pilsen, but a team in Czechia, forgot the team's name, but in the Conference League, they match fixing. A lot of teams got removed because of match fixing, one of them being a Czech side. So it meant that Hradec Kralov, who was in the Conference League qualifiers, have moved up to the Europa League qualifiers, and Victoria Pilsen has then now made it to the playoffs of the Europa League. Wait. Oh, I think it was the team in the Europa League playoffs that got match fix banned. So whoever Victoria Pilsen replaced is a team that match fixed, and then obviously they had to bring a new team in the Conference League, so they brought in Jablonek. Now this is one of the only fixtures where these two teams already have played a match, so you would back Karabakh. No offense to CSK Sofia. And then this one's interesting. The names itself is big. Dino Kiev, big team in Ukraine, big team in Greece, PAOK. But let's be honest, I think PAOK should be going through. Besiktas v Michelin. It's gonna be interesting. Besiktas has just signed Trossard. Michelin, they had a good. I wouldn't say a good Europa League run, but like they did really run the league phase, and they got very unlucky to get loose to Forest in round 16 of the Europa League. And then Hamavi v Anderlecht. You would back Anderlecht, but Hamavi could put up a fight. This one, I do not have a. Maccabi Tel Aviv, but who knows? And this one's actually like a crazy match. 20 versus Ferencváros, probably the best team in Hungary. I guess they weren't the best last year, because Giori, I forgot about. And then 20, who are also in the qualifiers. So Dutch team versus big team in Hungary. This one's gonna be a tight one, and one of these teams are gonna drop down to the Conference League. And now with the Conference League, it's a lot more matches. I'm not gonna go through every single match, but through like qualifier 1, is there any matches that like caught my eye? I guess Levadia beating Welshside Carnarvon 5-0 in both matches. This one's a shocker. Like, I guess Astana got a red card in this match, but they got the red card in the 49th minute. And so they were 1-0 up, and then they got the red card. So that the red card was it that? Sorry. It was a second yellow, because then they scored a penalty, and then from their Albanian side, Dinamo City. So that's Astana, like, massive. They've been in the group stages of the Champions League before. They, at one point, Kairat's kind of taken their medal, but they were the most consistent and big side in Kazakhstan football for many years. Any other shockers here? So obviously every team that lost here are knocked out of Europe. This doesn't surprise me. It's just Sarajevo were like a big name in Bosnia at one point. Nah, nothing. There's only a few surprises. I'm not gonna go through every match, but like what matches take my eye. First, FCSB Bucharest. Obviously, they were in the Europa League knockouts 2 seasons ago, and now they're going to be versing Latvian side Auda. Nordsjælland, Danish side. Obviously, they're known for their import of African youngsters from, especially Ghana. They have like an academy in Ghana. They're going to verse. That's Swedish side, right? Yes, that is a Swedish side. I was gonna say Gais. Gais. I don't know how to pronounce that. This one's Université Cluj. They only lost the penalties to Dino Kiev, so to then draw against Bran, good Norwegian side. That's a Panathinaikos. This is Hungarian side Pax. You would back Panathinaikos, but you never know. Ajax are in this round, and Ajax, obviously, they've been given Vojvodina. Now, Vojvodina, they dropped down from the Europa League after losing to Ferencváros. But Ajax in the Conference League qualifiers it's crazy. Braga. Because of if Sporting didn't lose to that second tier side, Braga would not be here. But Braga here, they could have made it to the Europa League final last season. Now they have a trip to Serbian side Zelesnica. Rapid Vienna versus Santa Coloma. Austrian side versus Andorran side. Ghent have a game against LNZ Cherkasy. They're making their European debut. Oh, who remembers Bate Borisov? They won that Champions League group stage in 2015-16. They have Sion from Switzerland. Ooh, Policia Zitomor. Ukrainian side versus Danish side Copenhagen. Any other Besiktas here? They have to verse Inter, Turku. And then who's got Vaduz? They've got a favorable draw. They've got Andorran side Athletic Escaldes. So yeah, that's the conference league. That's yeah, little preview, little update. I'm gonna regularly make some videos on the qualifiers in the Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League. I love this side of football, man. The qualifiers in Europe, because you see some small sides, unknown. Not I wouldn't say small in their country. They're massive. Like, no offense, right? If I head to, like, for example, I head to like Serbia, and people be like, there'll be like people that would know about Zelesnica. You get me? Or I had to who like, I'm trying to think. I had to Kazakhstan, and then we talking about Tabor, Astana, Karat. You get me? This is a side I like seeing this side of football. The again, not smaller side, just the more like unknown side. People obviously know about the big six, the big seven leagues, but people don't really go in the web and discover these smaller, these, more unknown teams in these unknown leagues. You get me? Like, who you think, like, the average person's trying to find out who plays in Kazakhstan, the teams in there? No. I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to figure out that stuff. So yeah, I'll make an update. Basically, the next video about the qualifiers would be after leg 1 and leg 2 is completed. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll be doing more football videos. Either it could be gaming, or it could be, I like these type of videos where I just talk about something. I like talking about football. It's something I love. I love football, man.